these are some of the major achievements from the last year. We have shipped over 115,000 tons,
which is pretty impressive. Why do you think any other supplier will not be able to replicate what Unimacts and ZETWERK have done?
We go above and beyond to what the customer is asking.
Welcome to the very first episode of The Chain Reaction, your go-to podcast for supply chain and sourcing. From innovative technologies to global sourcing to challenges in the logistics, we will cover it all. And to talk about all these supply chain challenges and how Unimacts is solving them, we have Vamshi. Vamshi is the head of supply chain for our solar operations in India. Welcome Vamshi to The Chain Reaction. Thousands of tons of steel moved last year, Vamshi. You have done an incredible job of bringing the structural steel supply chain into India, especially for the solar market. So please talk us through how Unimacts uses the India supply chain and why is it something that is important for our global customers?
I think majority of the market got created during the COVID times when there's a whole China plus one. People are looking at multiple geographies to source their products from. And India, given its low cost manufacturing option, seemed the obvious choice. If I go back in time, 3 years back, when we started off the whole solar foundation post manufacturing in India, there were not a lot of Indian mills who were delivering these products. We have invested in the tooling required to make these products, and we have taken significant bets saying that the market would expand and we would be pioneering the whole export segment from India to the US in this industry. So, it's been a very rapid growth that we have seen. I think the first year we have done 20,000 tons. The second year we have done 40,000 tons, and last year we have done about 115,000 tons. So the growth has been massive, and we have worked with multiple supply partners in India to make this possible. Given that there are multiple stages involved in the entire supply chain, we have developed a lot of the factories that we work with into producing material up to the American standards.
Okay, great. Please talk to us a little about what are the key value propositions that Unimacts today offers to its North American customers.
See, one of the biggest and I think the most crucial aspect that we offer to our customers is the global plus local solution. Given that multiple EPCs, their projects span across the lead times that we offer on projects span across 8 weeks to 15 weeks. There are possibilities that the India solution might not work on a few projects because the customer needs it within 8 weeks, and given the timelines involved on the ocean shipping, sometimes it is not possible to ship it from India. So in such cases, we leverage our local options such as Tijuana in Mexico and the new line that we are going to set up in the Houston. So with this solution, what happens is we are able to offer a blended solution to a customer. Depending on the lead times they are anticipating, we will be able to give a mix of first 2 weeks from Mexico and the rest from India, or just to give them that benefit of extra time to finalize their designs and get the best price.
Got it. So you are saying that you have a supply chain that's ready to go in India, Mexico, and in the US as well, which is pretty impressive considering North American customers would want this diversity in their supply chains. Can you elaborate a little bit on a couple of use cases, or maybe how would a US based customer use these supply chains differently in a real world scenario? And please also talk us through a little bit of detail about the Mexico supply chain and how it integrates with the India supply chain.
So if we go into the process, there is raw material procurement and there is hot rolling of the sections, and then we have fabrication depending on the customer tracker design, and then we also have the galvanizing as per the requirement. So there are multiple stages involved, and putting all these together, we have developed the supply chains both in India as well as Mexico. And particularly in India, what we do is we work with multiple supply partners, and we have built redundancies and a wide range of product offerings and custom piles that we have manufactured for certain APCs or tracker companies, depending on their requirements. The way these two work in hand in hand is, if there are lead time constraints for the EPC, we are able to produce the first few weeks out of Mexico, and then the later part or the majority part comes from India at a much lower cost, ensuring the blended cost is still within the budget of the EPCs. And not just this, we have faced certain scenarios. I mean, given that this material that we are shipping out of India to the US, there's a lot of handling involved. There have been cases where, one out of 1,000 piles or 10,000 piles probably get damaged because of handling. And what helps the end customer is we are able to meet the exact requirement without any deviations because of our Mexico plant. If there are any piles that get damaged through the way, we are able to replace them using our Mexico or the US facility, which gives them a good night's sleep overall. They need not worry about what happens if there are any delays over the ocean, or if there is some material which was found faulty when it arrives at the US shores, right? So this is the kind of advantage that customers get when they work with Unimax.
Got it. And I think that's a good segue into why do you think any other supplier who has a couple of factories or a large factory in Southeast Asia will not be able to replicate what Unimax and Zetwork have done in their supply chain?
Sure. I mean, one is having the global and local supply chains that makes us the best in business out there. And in addition to this, a lot of the factories that probably work out of India, they do not have local teams in the US. So, on the other hand, if you take Setwork or Unimax, we have our team in the US as well as in India who is overlooking into every stage of the process. As far as the India team is concerned, we ensure that the material is manufactured to at the greatest quality norms there are as per the customer requirement. And once the material is on board the ship and when it lands in the US, our logistics team in the US takes over and ensure we are not depending on third parties to do the deliveries, or we are not leaving it out of our hands once the material reaches the US. So that's one of the biggest advantages the end customer gets when they work with us. And given the huge volumes that we do, we also have annual contracts with some of the major shipping lines out there, which will give us the price benefits, which will translate into the pricing for the end customers. Also, that whenever there are some logistic issues, like given the COVID scenario that we have seen, as well as the recent Red Sea issue, there have been some gaps in the global ocean logistics, which we are able to successfully beat. So because of the rate contracts as well as the tie-ups which we have with the major shipping lines, we are able to ensure that irrespective of what happens, we are taking care of the timely deliveries to the end customer.
Got it. And I would imagine moving material of this size and this much volume would require a large knowledge or a great expertise in the logistics uh, piece of it as well. Can you tell us, and for the interest of our viewers, talk a little about why do you think the logistics team and the logistics part of Unimax and Zetwork are robust?
Sure. I would probably want to break this down into two aspects. When we are dealing with logistics, we deal with two different types of shipping. One is the containers as well as the break bulk. So both of them have their own advantages and disadvantages. While containers give you a reliable lead time, break bulk offers very good pricing overall. So what we do for a given project to ensure the timely deliveries, our logistic team gives the best blend of what should go on containers, what should go on break bulk, as well as which are the best liners that we need to work with the best transit times out there. And when it comes to break bulk, should we book a direct vessel to Houston to meet the timelines? And so there are multiple parameters at place, and we have some of the best in business out there who work in our logistics team with 15-20 years of experience. They understand how the global ocean logistics work. So this puts in at a far better position compared to our peers, or in the overall segment. And like you said, it's not an easy task to move 100,000 tons of steel every year. So we rely on having those contracts in place with the major shipping lines as well as the break bulk operators, which will give us a huge wriggle room in the way we operate.
That's impressive again. Talking about the quality aspects of this whole operation, I'm sure it's not very easy to manage hundreds of thousands of steel being shipped from a quality standpoint as well. And if I'm a buyer in North America and hundreds of thousands of steel is coming for my project from India, I would not be very comfortable if I don't know about the quality parameters. So what are those key things that you do in your quality control that ensures that I get timely delivery, quality delivery?
We have a very stringent quality assurance plan in place. So essentially, a quality assurance plan is at every stage, what do you do, at what frequency do you do, right? So we go above and beyond to what the customer is asking, and the stringent quality checks we have in place right from the chemical and physical properties of the raw material all the way to the finished good stage. We have multiple checks in place, and we have dedicated manpower even at our partner facilities who are monitoring this day in day out and ensuring that our QAP is adhered to. So this essentially, a lot of the companies who work in this space would not be so quality conscious, and that is what we bring to the table by deploying our own manpower at every place that we manufacture these piles, and also assuring the best of the quality to our customers.
And how do you feel about the current time as a supply chain professional?
It's absolutely fantastic. Like, so as to say, India in its own terms has been on the path to being a global manufacturing hub. And being able to play a part in it is a great thing personally. And also to contribute to the foreign relations that we have between India and the US through the trade relations, that's like, a great thing to do.
Vamshi, can you talk us a little through how do you give the best cost solution to the customer along with the best quality that you provide?
See, again, when it comes to cost, it is also about what is the raw material that we use, which is obviously pegged to the local domestic markets. And in addition to that, given the scale that we have, we take certain price decisions on the commodities, which will help us control the commodity prices to a decent extent. And also the logistics contracts that we have that will give us an edge and reliability across a 2 3 month project timeline, and this will help us ensure that we are able to control the cost and pass on these savings to the end customer.
Okay. Okay, that's impressive. So I think we can wrap up. Great. Thank you, Vamshi, for your time, and let's keep talking on the chain reaction. Thank you, listeners,
Thank
and
you.
hope to see you on other podcasts. Thank you.